Okay, my friends, let's get spelling. So we are in the middle of I month. We're learning some amazing things about I, about how to spell with it. And you're going to love today. You're going to be so happy that you came. If you were with me last year or the year before, then you're going to remember this. But if this is new, then your mind is just going to be enlightened because this spelling happens in so many words. Here it is. SH isn't the only digraph that can spell the sh sound. There's several ways to spell sh. In today's lesson, that sh sound is going to be spelled not with an SH, but with a TI. TI is a common spelling of sh, as in nation, or patient, or emotion. Do you see the TI spelling sh? So since there are a lot of ways to spell that sound, how are you supposed to know which one to use? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here is a big, juicy hint. SH itself is usually reserved for the beginning of words or at the end of shorter words, like shore, ship, or fish. TI will be how you're going to spell it most of the time when it's toward the end. There's two rules to when to use TI. The first one is that it's going to be toward the end of a longer word. So a multisyllable word. That's the first rule. Can't be at the beginning, has to be toward the end of a longer word. That's number one. Number two is there has to be a vowel after it. Look at all those examples. Nation, patient, emotion. They're all, the sh sound is toward the end of a multisyllable word with a vowel after it. Now we're going to be working exclusively today with TION, TIA, and TIENT. Those are the three most common ways to spell the sh sound. So let me share my screen. All right, who's excited? I am. I is just fun because isn't that the funnest spelling hack? I mean, do you remember when you first learned that TI, you were like, what? TI spells sh. Who knew? Because we just grew up thinking that SH was the only option. But lo and behold, there's several options, several ways to spell the SH sound. So let's practice on when to use this one. Toward the end of a multisyllable word, vowel after it. There's also some other ways to spell it. We're going to learn one of those other ways on Wednesday, but today we're going to focus with this one. So in all of our words today, when we're spelling, when you hear that sh sound, never spell it with an SH. It's not going to be in any of our words, SH. We're only going to be spelling that SH sound with a TI because it's going to follow those patterns that I'm trying to teach you, okay? First word, plishun. Plishun. We have every time. P-L-I, sh-n. Consonants. P-L-I, sh is going to be spelled with a T-I right here because it's toward the end of a multisyllable word, and there's a vowel after it. We can tell because we dotted that sound right there. And then our last consonant is an N. Now here we can see our shun. Shun is a common suffix that is always spelled T-I-O-N. So I'm going to put that down here at the bottom. That is going to be one of our three spellings that include the T-I spelling for the sh sound at the end of our words. And since we can see that it's T-I-O-N, I'm going to drop that O right there. Plishun, we have one more vowel sound. This I sound is going to be spelled with a I right there. It can make its long sound because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. Now, doesn't that word make a lot of sense? Doesn't that word say exactly what you would expect? This I says I because of the tap 2 rule. This TI says sh because it's toward the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it. This O is spelling the schwa sound. That also follows a very common pattern that we're going to learn next month, actually. O will spell the schwa sound in instances like this when it's toward the end of a multisyllable word and there's a consonant after it. All right, your next word on your own without me is trition. Trition. Spell trition. T-R-I-sh-a-n. Trition. And then drop it in the Q&A. Excellent. Very good. So, Rowan, I want you to focus on this spelling of the shun sound at the end, right there. Shun. Try shun. It's going to look very similar to this right up here. Trition. Gorgeous. Beautiful, everyone. Good. Okay. Lily, give me one more letter toward the beginning. I need this sound right here spelled. Do, 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 do. Okay. Consonants. T, R, I, sh is spelled toward the end of a multisyllable word when there's a vowel after it with a T-I. And then we have our N right there. So let me say this again. Sh is spelled with a T-I when it's toward the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it. And a longer word just means multisyllable, 2 vowels that don't touch, at least. And then here's our shun sound. It's a unit suffix that is spelled T-I-O-N. All we have left is that I sound that is spelled with a long I right there just fine because of the tap 2 rule. Okay? Next. Let's spell the word sipsha. Sipsha. We have s, I, p, sh, a. Now that might look like a short word, but as long as there are 2 vowels that don't touch, it qualifies as multisyllable, and then so this rule applies to it. So our consonants in sipsha are s, I, p, sh. Here's our T-I spelling, and then a. Now, if you weren't here in A month, here is something that you're going to love about A. When you hear at the end of a word, spell it with an A. When you hear at the end of a word, spell it with an A. So this is how you spell sha. I'm going to put that right here. It's the second of our 3 common endings that use the T-I spelling. And then all we have left is I. And this I can spell the I sound right here just fine because of those 2 consonants after it. There is sipsha. Sipsha. Okay, your word. I'm going to make this one a little harder because the one on the paper is a little easy. Let me think for a second. Okay. Bifsha. Bifsha. So we have b, I, f, sh, that third sound is f like Frank, friend, flower. This is f like Frank, friend, or flower. Your word is bifsha. Bifsha. How do you spell bifsha? How do you spell bifsha? Gorgeous, Lily. Nice, Beverly. Yes, Joseph. Very good. Nice, Francesco. Excellent. Gorgeous, Sheldon. Well done, my friend. Yes, Julie. Beautiful. Bifsha. Take your time. Bifsha. Nice, Daryl. Good, Joe. Joe, actually, the first sound is a b, but I know that's kind of hard to hear in the mic sometimes. Bifsha. Bifsha. All right, consonants. We have b, I, f, sh. Now here's our sh sound. When you hear sh toward the end, this is our spelling rule for the day. When you hear sh toward the end of a multisyllable word and there's a vowel after it, you're going to spell it with a T-I. And then when you hear at the end of a word, spell it with an A. When you hear at the end of a word, spell it with an A. Here is that spelling for you right down here at the corner. All right, my friends, let's try triscient. Let's try triscient. How would you spell triscient? We have t, I, sh, n, t. I want to do this one with you first, okay? Even though you probably do this one on your own, I just want to set you up for success on this. So our consonants are t, I. Here's our sh sound spelled with a ti, ends with an nt, right? Those are all our consonant sounds. Try, sh, n, t. This right here is why it's so important for us to warm up our ears at the beginning of class so that we learn that N is 2 sounds and not 1. So each one of those micro sounds has its own spelling. So now our vowels. This I can be spelled with this I sound can be spelled with a long I right there just fine because of the tap 2 rule. Right here is spelled with a short E, which makes that short sound because of the tap 2 rule, those 2 consonants after it. So there's triscient. I wanted you to focus on this shent right here. That is our 3rd most common ending of a word that includes that TI spelling for the sh sound. So we have shun, sha, and shent. Let me show you those. Here is shun, sha, and shent. And each one of those, the TI is spelling the sh sound. And each one of those, that sh sound is toward the end of a multisyllable word. And in each one of those, there's a vowel after it. So that's how you know when to use that TI spelling. It's probably not going to be an SH in this spot. Toward the end like that with a vowel after it, it's probably going to be a TI. All right, so your word is pliant. Pliant. We have p, l, I, sh, n, t. Pliant. I'm excited to see your answers in the Q&A. Pliant. Pliant. Does TI only come at the end of words? It can come anywhere in a word, but it has different pronunciations. It will only say that sound toward the end of a multisyllable word or wherever it's unaccented. Usually that's where a word is unaccented or where the syllable is unstressed. It's toward the end of a word like that. Pliant. Good question. There you go. You're getting it. Nice. This sound right here, everybody, is this right there. Okay? Big juicy hint. Make sure that this right here is this right here. Yeah. So this vowel, 3rd from the end, is this vowel, 3rd from the end, down here at the bottom of the whiteboard, okay? Feel free to change your answer. Nothing's permanent. So our consonants in pliant are p, l, I. Here's our sh that we're going to spell with a TI. Why? 2 reasons. It's toward the end of a multisyllable word and there's a vowel after it. So we're spelling it with a TI. And here we have our n, t sounds. Now we have 2 vowel sounds to spell. Our first one, I, is going to be spelled with a long I right there, just fine because of the tap 2 rule. It can make its long sound. And this is different than I, right? Is your jaw is dropped more and your mouth comes in a little bit. Your mouth is in a long wide grin. Versus This one is with your jaw dropped. Like egg, eggs, exit, elbow, excellent. Spell with an E, which is making its short sound right there because of the tap 2 rule. There's pliant. And if you'll notice, there it is right down there at the end. Of course, of course. All right, let's give you one more. I think we have time for one more. Let's make this one kind of a medium 1. How about the word I want Lycian. Lycian. How do you spell Lycian? Very good, Lily. I love that. Lycian. L-I-sh-a-n. Put that in the Q&A for me. How do you spell Lycian? That wasn't even hard for you, was it, Beverly? Rowan, pay really close attention to this ending right here. Whenever you hear shun at the end of a word, like lotion, potion, motion, it's probably going to be spelled like this right here. Shun. There we go. Yeah. Lily, give me one more letter. Actually, I think I want you to change that third I to this spelling over here. There we go. Beautiful, my friends. Nice, everyone. All right, so our consonants are full I. Here's our sh that we're not going to spell with an SH. We're spelling it with a TI because it's toward the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it. We can see because we dotted that sound when we first started spelling. And then the n. Our I is spelled with an I right here because of the tap 2 rule. Here's our shun suffix that is spelled T-I-O-N. Lycian. You must feel good about what you learned today or what you relearned. You now know or you recall that SH is only one of the ways you can spell the sh sound. Usually SH is reserved for the beginning of words or at the end of short words. But in those multisyllable words, especially when it's a suffix like shun, that sh sound is going to be spelled with a TI. When it's toward the end of a longer word and there's a vowel after it, you're probably going to spell it with a TI. There are other spellings too, and we're going to learn one of those next time on Wednesday. So join me over there on Wednesday again. In the meantime, go teach somebody about TI. It'll just help it sink into your long-term memory even stronger. All right, my friends, have a great night. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.